I'd like to start today by thanking you all for coming to our March administrators call, and start by asking you how your in-district visit went, which I know some of you, due to weather, didn't have one. But if you didn't have one, I know Lexi and Shelby have reached out to some people. I just need to know if I need to do something to make that connection. So I'm going to start with you, Deb. Did you actually have an in-district visit?
We did. It was Shelby that came, and it went really well. She observed 3 different classrooms and then did the debriefing with each of them, and then came to our faculty meeting and kind of showed us the highlights of what went well and what other things we could do. And so it was really a good meeting.
And what were you staff's response and staff's planning post the visit? What do they plan to do with what she shared with them?
So they really appreciated her comments, and I did meet with those 3 teachers one-on-one afterwards and just visited with them a little bit. A lot of them really liked some of the small group strategies that she was showing them and that she had encouraged them to do. So then we followed up with professional development this last Monday, 2 days ago, of some differentiating instruction. So to give them just a few more ideas. And that went really well. The teachers were very, very interactive with that professional development. And I think it's because of the way Shelby set it up for them.
Fabulous. What about you, Janae?
So because of weather, we were not able to have ours. But I know that a couple of the teachers that were going to be observed by her, they've been trying to get the videos sent to her, and then she was going to kind of give them some feedback that way, but we're still working on that.
Okay. Is there anything I can do to support making that connection? We're going to talk about next year, just because this is the 2nd year in a row we've had weather when we've been in your part of the state.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think Julianne Carter has reached out to Shelby quite a bit and is coordinating with her.
Perfect. What about you, Miss Wendy? I know we spoke yesterday, but do you need any assistance connecting with, I believe it was going to be Lexi working with you guys on your in-district stuff?
I think what we're going to do is, I'll be honest, so basketball season ends this weekend. And one of our the 2nd grade teacher, her son plays basketball. She also does the books and different things that way. So really, honestly, I'm excited just to get this week over with, getting with both Carrie and with Lexi to find out if we can go ahead, do a Zoom conference that we can just watch that modeling for our 2nd grade teachers, asking any questions that they have. And then again, like I was saying, I'll just go over and model with our kindergarten teachers of how those to video and send those up to Lexi for observation. So, but right now, I just know our 2nd grade teacher, she's the veteran of the 3, and it's just, trying to get basketball season over with so I can have more of her time, so that she's not either watching basketball and or keeping the books, because she also does the books for the district as well. So then I can have her undivided attention and time.
Totally get that. Other duties as assigned.
Yep.
Doug, I think you guys were closed, or did you have an in-district visit?
We also were the other one in our district that had an in-district visit.
How'd it go?
It went really well. Shelby came in and she did a bit of observing of our 3rd through 5th grade intervention and gave us some feedback on that. And And so we've got small groups that she observed as well as larger groups that are kind of staying in the classes. And then she also modeled some vocabulary lessons, one for our upper grades, one for our primary grades, because we've been focusing a lot on our foundational skills, but now we'd like to work on our vocabulary. So I think that was the takeaway the most for at least our entire staff, was getting some more ideas on how to introduce the vocabulary within our curriculum and teach that. So that was good. And then we had some other time to debrief with our interventionist and I, and talk about some different things at our school and ways we could continue to improve. So it went really well.
Awesome. One of the things that I want to check with all of the administrators is, are all of your teachers, at least 2 of your teachers, not all of them, videotaping their small group instruction and uploading those videos and having access to your internal coach?
I was going to ask you about that anyway, Shannon. I had it on my note. So my teachers had been sharing their videos with Cami, our interventionist, and she was doing the coaching. We have switched that over. We're a CSI up school. And so we have Coach Kathy Luris that is assigned by the state to us. So she's going to take over that coaching. So they're going to upload their videos and share them with her, and she is going to coach them on them. But I asked Cami if she had been sending the videos to you. She said that she has not. I asked the teachers if they had been sending their videos to you, and they said they have not. But Cami thought that Yvonne was the only one that had access to Inside Advantage. Is that the way you're wanting them sent to you?
So you need to send me the coach's name and email address. We will get that individual an account, a coaching account through Inside Advance, and all of the teachers, because what we do is we work with you, and I can train your staff. They upload their videos through Inside Advance. They self-reflect, they can make some comments, and I can show them how to do that if you need me to schedule a time. And then they submit them to their coach. Their coach then provides feedback on what they're observing, and then they get together and identify what areas of improvement they want to do.
Okay, perfect. Cami did send me all the videos that she had done. So, I mean, we can get those to you as well, but moving forward, we can do this as well. So
what I would suggest you do is just make sure I have everybody's email address. I'll make sure they have an account, and then I can set up a time and show them how to upload those videos into Inside Advance.
okay.
And that way they get credit for those videos. It's also a secure platform to ensure that no student identifiable information gets out without permission.
Perfect. Okay, we will get that. And as soon as I get that information, I'll just email you and set up a time that we could do that.
Perfect. And I
Thank
can work
you.
with them on that.
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks, Shannon.
Now, Janae, you were nodding your head. Yes, your teachers are videotaping and submitting those videos for coaching.
Yeah.
Any struggles, any concerns that I can help address?
No, I think that they finally mastered the platform, making sure they're not flipped and upside down. And yeah, they're making sure they're short enough. And I know that they had problems before, but they were super excited that they both got their names and they both got money to spend, and they got that. They're both from our district. Yeah, we were excited.
Very cool. Very, very cool. What about you, Jane? How are things going at your school?
They seem to be going well. I know that Carrie has been working with our two teachers that are videoing and having conversations. And then the two that they video are the team leaders. And so then they share that experience with their team. And we've encouraged team members, others, to try to take the leap of faith and video themselves. But we don't have a lot of good responders in that aspect. They're a little fearful.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, there, but things are going well.
Well, again, if there's anything I can do to support that, the videos are not evaluative. They are self-reflection and coaching purposes for professional development only. Let me know how I can support that. And Doug, how are things going with the videotaping in your building?
Not as well as I would like. I know they've done one or two, but they're pretty, I don't know, the couple teachers that I have are pretty I don't know, a little worried about them or just concerned about it. I don't know why. So just need to get them a little more comfortable with it. I think the other thing is my coach doesn't feel like it's part of her job description to do the coaching as an interventionist. And so trying to overcome that, hey, for this particular project, it's fine. So we just probably have to have a better sit down and go over those issues, because they just seem to be, I keep encouraging it and thinking it'll happen, and it's not really happening because I think of those few little holdups.
How can I support that?
Let me have a discussion with the team and with everybody, and then we'll find out if it's more of a training thing, but I think it's more of a getting out of their comfort zone thing.
Okay. Well, and one of the things that we have found over the course of this project is if you do the videotaping and the coaching with fidelity, we change practice. If we do it just kind of haphazardly and say, oh, I might do this part of it, but not this part of it. Some students might make growth, but we're not changing practice. And the whole premise of this project is all students learn to read. And when all students learn to read, we have alignment across tiers of instruction. We have good self-reflection on our instructional practices, and we get coaching support.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
So
yeah, Shannon, while I'm thinking about it, when Shelby was here, it kind of was brought up that originally we had added a new teacher end of last year, because we realized that our gen ed teacher ended up not being with us anymore in that capacity. So we added a first grade teacher, but she moved to fourth. Should we look at adding a primary grade teacher as well? That was just something that was brought up when we were here, because it's more about learning to read, and it's fine probably for a fourth grade teacher to continue, but I was wondering if you would encourage that we also add another teacher that is maybe first grade or kindergarten or second or something that way.
I would encourage you to identify a teacher, kindergarten through third grade, who would benefit the most through coaching.
Mhm.
And I guess one of the things that I would consider, and I can help you do this, Doug, is we sent your IRI data for each of your buildings to your respective person.
Yeah.
I would pull that IRI data, because it's broken up by kindergarten, first, second, and third, and look who might benefit based on their student performance to have a more intensive support in those instructional areas.
Okay. And I think I understand better too, how to make sure they understand what's going to be required when it comes to the videos and the being coached and things that way. I think some of those that first joined in, they didn't know that. And they're the ones that I think have struggled to be comfortable with it because they didn't know that was part of the deal when they first started working in it. So.
Well, and we have been somewhat of a building the ship as we go, and we were very fortunate when we received the state personnel development grant money to be able to buy equipment and support some of that. Thank you all. I would love to share my screen and talk about next year's activities. I needed to update our calendar because for the second year in a row, we've had to cancel some in-district visits based on weather. And honestly, we're just like going in Idaho. Maybe we do this in June, but we know that's unrealistic. But I did look at Lexi and Shelby's calendars, and I have proposal to move our in-district visits from the first part of February to the first part of March. So let me pull up the calendar and we can have a conversation about dates and what might work. So we were going to leave October alone because October seemed to work okay. But our thought was to move Blackfoot and Ryrie to March 5th. Does Wendy, do you or Debbie and Doug, do you see any reason why March 5th would not work for Blackfoot and Snake River? It'd be the 6th and the 7th as well.
That should work for us at Fort Hall.
Okay. Janae and Jane.
Yeah, I think that should work for us.
Yeah, I'm looking at my calendar for March 6th and 7th, and that will work for us. We'll just put it on now so that nothing overrides that.
That would be, that's why I'm trying to get these done as early as possible. Doug, does the 5th or the...
I think that should work. I know that there was talk of changing our parent-teacher conferences back to the end of the trimester, but I think that will be more February, not that first part in March, but I haven't seen the calendar. So that would be my only concern, is if we ended up with parent-teacher conferences that around that time, that we have some shortened days plus teachers getting ready for that. But I think that'll be the week after.
Okay.
Shannon, this is Rose.
Yeah.
Jane and Janae, I just looked at next year's calendar. That is during parent-teacher conference. The 6th and the 7th. That week has got the stop signs for parent-teacher. Are you guys wanting to leave it during parent-teacher conference week?
So
Is
Rose,
it for Riverside and Moreland, or is it the other schools? Because I'm pretty sure it's not mine.
Hang on.
Mine's
Yeah, it's
usually earlier.
Moreland. On the calendar, it shows Moreland only, but we have pulled back and we are only doing Monday and Tuesday parent-teacher conferences next year. So we're good. They just haven't made the new calendar change yet, Rose.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you guys saw that.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Again, it's not a huge shift, but we're hoping by a couple of weeks, we won't end up in eastern Idaho, sitting in hotel rooms while it snows and blows outside.
Can I just correct? It's the 5th. Did you say for Ryrie, the 5th of March?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. The other thing, the other addition to the calendar that I was asked to make was the collaborative calls that occur with instructional staff and coaching, which is the third Tuesday of the month now, which next year will be the fourth Tuesday of the month, to add a 30-minute coaching call after the 1-hour instructional call. Lexi and Shelby had talked to the coaches, and they felt that having 30 minutes that they could problem solve, get additional coaching support would be beneficial. That would be in September. We're in districts in October. November, we have coaching training in December. January, we're in district in February, and then March and April. So that would just be an additional 30 minutes, coaches only, for those collaboration calls. Any
Actually,
concern?
Shannon, I do have a concern because you just changed our in-person visits to March. And yet you're saying on your collaborative calls, you're going to do them in March.
It's going to all change. I need to make that to February now that we've moved to March. All of these changes occurred yesterday, and so I was trying to be as timely as I could. But
So
yeah,
my concern is the phone call goes from 4 to 5, my time, and then coaching from 5 to 5:30. That's off district time. A lot of mine, that's going to be a little, that's a little difficult off contract time.
okay. One of the things that I just want to remind you is there's money set aside to compensate. And again, I totally get it. Family time, kids doing what we need to do. Other people's thoughts. Again, this was a response to a request, not necessarily us just adding additional things. So I hear Janae's concern about an additional 30 minutes. Does anybody else have concerns about that additional 30 minutes?
I think if I let mine know that they will be compensated for it and to keep track of their time, I think they'll be okay where it's only once a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
I'll just talk with mine and we'll make it work. She just may be driving at the time.
I gotcha. Okay. So one of Kaylee sent out a mid-year survey, and based on that, there was some conversation about parents' participation in the project. Do each of you have a parent that is part of your systematic improvement or your MTSSR leadership team? I see. No. Janae, you
No.
win the prize. Yeah, you have a parent. So I guess my question is, for those of you that don't have a parent, how can we help support you recruiting a parent to be on your leadership team?
Well, my biggest problem is we have asked several, and those that would be most willing also work full-time. And so it has been impossible for them to leave work to attend meetings. I even had to dissolve my parent committee for that very same reason. So that's been my biggest problem, and I don't know how to solve that. So that's where we're at.
We did have a parent, and then she ended up getting a job and then couldn't. So I think that's, just the biggest barrier of, parents have plans to participate and then something changes. I think having the schedule this early in advance And then just being sure I understand adding a new parent in at this point, what they need to go to will be very helpful to me. So if you can just help me make sure I understand what they need to go to join in and get started this late in the game, that would be helpful. And then I can get on top of it sooner rather than later.
So what we have done is we've worked with Idaho Parents Unlimited to create a flyer that I will get out to you guys all, which is kind of to parents from parents on being part of the leadership team. We are going to pay to have the parents attend a training in Boise on August 2nd, and it's serving on groups. So all new parents that have not had this training, we will bring to Boise on August 2nd to do serving on groups training. That way, when we're out doing the MTSSR regional trainings the next week, where you bring your whole team, the parent will have some context to understand their role during that MTSSR meeting, which is the next week. So I will get the flyer to you. So Doug, for the parent, they would attend that August 2nd meeting. There is a monthly call with iPool, but they also, if we come up to the your MTSSR leadership, they would attend the Fall Institute for you guys in Idaho Falls on August 11th. The Data Summit is a 2-hour call. In November, the spring retreat is virtual, and then your monthly meetings whenever they are scheduled within the district. So those are the parent pieces. But again, I'll get the flyer to you. We just felt that if we could bring them to Boise and train them on what the Cultivating Readers Project is and what it's like to serve on a district or a building leadership group, when they came the next week with your team, they wouldn't feel so disjointed from the process.
Just a question. Do you know if that meeting in Boise will be able to be recorded for them if they can't make it?
My understanding is they will not be recording it. They have found that it's the interaction between the parents and the activities that really gets them. They found that parents that just watched it did not feel prepared.
And I would assume with that, then it'd be one night hotel that the program would pay for them with the travel and the meals.
That is correct. We pay for all travel expenses. If they have to have childcare while they're gone, what you do is you work with the parents, you submit what they need, and Kaylee puts it in the GRA. That grant, I don't know what it stands for, Wendy. GRA, grant reimbursable. I don't know. Anyhow, so I wanted to talk about that parent recruitment piece, as well as making sure everybody understood that we were changing the in districts. And yes, Jane, I will change all of the calendars to reflect that March change before they're finalized. So the next thing I needed to know was, we offered through the Cultivating Readers an optional dyslexia training that was 4 hours long, either 2 hours, 2 nights on April 3rd and 5th, or on a Saturday, April 8th. And we did this in October and we're doing it again. We need to know if you are finished, you're good, everybody that needs to be trained is trained, because the state director of special ed wants to open it up to other districts, but we're trying to make sure our cohort is protected and gets the teachers trained that need to be trained prior to opening up to other districts. So Debbie, are you, let me change how I'm going to say this. Are all the staff that need to have the dyslexia training in your building, have they had it? And I can say, you're done,
Yeah, it's all complete for our district.
the whole district.
Yes. So that
Fabulous.
includes us too.
Nope, that's awesome. So Blackfoot is done. What about Snake River?
We have done, the district has offered all of us something, so we've done half of it, and then in August, we're doing our other half.
Okay, so I can open this up without any concern. Okay.
Correct.
How-
Yes, ditto.
Okay, thanks. What about you, Ryrie? Wendy?
So what we've got is our elementary staff have all been trained, but I've sent out and opening that up to our 612 so that they're also trained. So that went out yesterday. So we are planning the second half of our district to attend in April.
Okay. Encourage them. I think Julie wants to open it up no later than March 15th to the other districts, since it'll be the first part of April.
Okay.
And she wants, I've asked that she let our cohort districts get their reservation or their registration in prior to opening it up statewide.
Okay, I will follow that up with the high school principal to make sure that, I know that went out because he CC'd me on that. And I will follow up with him
Perfect.
so that I can, okay, teachers. And I'll let them know that it's gonna be opened up on the 15th. Okay, done.
That's awesome. The next registration that I wanted to talk about is we've decided to do the Spring Institute slightly different this year. This year, we're going to have 2 registrations. In the morning from 9 a.m. Mountain Time to noon is going to be your MTSSR leadership team. That is whoever is coming to your monthly meetings, including the parent. We're going to be working with Carol Disson from the National Center on Improving Literacy. And the morning's going to be around your MTSSR systems work. In the afternoon, from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we encourage all of your instructional staff to attend training with Lexi and Shelby. What they're going to do is take an analysis of the IRI sub skills and where the group is not making the progress we'd like to see made, and providing some intensification training in those areas. So in years past, it's been around spelling or text fluency. They will run an analysis and then provide very intentional and targeted professional development in reading instruction based on what's come out of the calls this year and the IRI reports. Any questions on those 2 registration links?
And this is virtual, it's not in person, correct?
That is correct. We do the spring virtually just because it's at the end of the year and people are ready to be done. And we want to respect that. And again, there is money set aside to pay off contract work for this. And so all you have to do is, well, Wendy's working with Wendy, Doug and Deb, you'll work with Lynette, and Janae and Jane, you'll work with Rose. The money's already been allocated. Any questions on the Spring Institute? The last thing kind of that I wanted to go over was we've had several districts that have decided that they are going to, at the end of the school year, have a parent night and work with their parents on how they can encourage reading over the summer. So there's not a big summer loss. The district that is spearheading this is gonna make it a joyful celebration, but also provide resources to families on what they can be doing with their child to support literacy development, to potentially attend library training or library read times, checking out books over the summer. But the National Center for Improving Literacy has a whole parent and family section. And you can have both English and Spanish documents, but it talks about the relationship or all sorts of different things that you can do at home in regard to literacy. The best way for me to find things is to go to the resource repository and over here to the left, choose parents and families. You can pick whatever topic you're interested in. I'm going to just pick beginning reading. And then if you're interested in activities, you can click on activities or games. There's a variety of different things, and then you just click find. At this, it tells me there's 59 different resources. They have these codes at the bottom of the resource that tells you this is for parents and family, and this is a handbook. This over here is an informational sheet. Here is an activity. So you can go through if you are interested and develop some specific resources for parents to do over the summer. All of this material has been vetted by reading experts and literacy experts. So it's quality. And you don't have to worry about somebody just posting something. Here's an alphabet matching. It's an activity. It's a game that kids can play with adults. Again, if you want to consider doing an end of year event where you encourage parents to continue reading with their children over the summer and providing them with resources, this is a great place to start. Any questions? That's what I got for you guys today. What can I do for you?
I
Well,
think
this
I'm,
helps me tremendously,
yeah,
so.
I'm with Deborah. No, this is really good information. It helps me figure out because I put out the calendar, putting the calendar together so I can give it to my staff. Like I talked to you yesterday, our calendar looks like we might be moving to a 4-day week. This is really going to give me more information to visit back and forth with our principal and as well as our superintendent of what are we going to do and what's it going to look like for professional development on those Fridays. So this is a lot of great information and information for me so that I can help and plan and organize and with our team. So thank you.
No, thank you. I am hoping in our April meeting, I'll have registration links for the Fall Institute so we can get everybody registered and have those dates set before school gets out, and it's hard to track people down. So we're really trying to get things as finalized as we can, as far in advance as we potentially can. So, perfect. I'm glad that's working out. Anything else I can do for you guys as a group? No? All right. We're going to meet on April 5th. Like I said, I hope to have registration links. We're finishing up the hotel contracts right now to know where we're going to be in Idaho Falls. And from there, I am here. I am a resource for you. If something isn't working, send me a text. Let me know. Doug, your hand is raised.
Yeah, I had a question about the Padlet and where the resources are. Ever since moving to Padlets, I guess I've struggled. That's a newer thing than using the Google Drive when we used to use the Google Drive as much. So just the links to that again would be helpful to me. And then I've got to get a better system down, I guess, of bookmarking those or whatever, because I'm used to, hey, as long as I went there once, it's in my Google Drive or something like that. And Padlet doesn't work that way. That's where everything is at, right? On the Padlet at this point, or is there somewhere else that I'm missing?
So currently, Doug, for this cohort, there will be 2 Padlets. There will be the Fall Institute Padlet. That's everything we did in August. And then there's the monthly collaborative call Padlet. I can send you a link to both of them so you can, but that's where we house it. For the collaboration calls, there's once a month. It has both the instructional staff material and this administrative call, as well as any resources or items that we have attached. There's also the Fall Institute Padlet, which is everything that we did then. We tried to keep it in one of those 2 places. But I'll get that to you. I'll send that out with this, the minutes and the recording of this call.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. I found my spring 2022 Padlet that I've been looking at, I just have it not organized very well. So that's on me.
Nope, not a problem. I'll get that to you. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time. We will again